Hi guys and gals, and welcome back to another Working Out Game video. Today's video is dedicated to some SINoNEWS, so let's jump right into it. If you go into menu, from menu go into notice, and tonight we will be having a maintenance. And this is the times. I'll have time converters down below if you want to check them out. Overall, it's gonna be some cool stuff, coming down. So the Bloodstained Tome on the left hand side, this is going to be the event that we are getting. Now, things to note, this is not a banner, this is an event. Notice that it says event. Right here, it was originally scheduled for, this time, JP, but this is the free class we're going to be obtaining, Red Riding Hood Minstrel. Overall, fantastic addition to the game. She's going to be giving you 200 stats overall, like even spread, nothing like too specific. This is her, sprite. This is her actual artwork. Fantastic. It looks more like Red Riding Hood is like chilled out, not as like menacing looking, but don't let those eyes fool you. Overall, I think this is going to just be nice. She even provides 200 HP, which is fantastic for vanguards. You really can't go wrong with this event because essentially what it's going to do is going to provide you, extra gems, extra resources, skill gems. You farm each stage 10 times, you get rewards. It's pretty much that cycle. Similar to like the Jealousy event, similar to the Absorbent Spider event, similar to pretty much any event that's not an armor event. Armor events are unique because armor events only drop armor specific stuff, right? So overall, this is the, Nightmare. It's pretty much Fairy Magic Fire, so it'll reduce fire skill costs. For the most part, you're probably going to use her as Nightmare fodder. Don't plan on leveling her. Do not, she has bad stats. She's just not good. You're better off running Fafnir, honestly, or something else. She's just not good. I've been noticing that in Grand Colo that a lot of people have been slowly cycling off SP cost nightmares. So if eventually I hope your team is getting used to not running Eris, used to not running SP cost stuff in Colo. She'll still be fantastic in story mode. If you do plan to use a mono fire grid or some sort, she's still going to be great for that. But overall, not really a necessary nightmare, and probably going into the grinder. No offense. So, and just to note, to circle back to everything, this is going to be a free class, so don't worry about trying to pull for it or anything. Everything's going to be free, and it's going to be pretty much just really positive vibes. Let's jump into the next thing that they tweeted over here. Now, this was not on the maintenance, but in SINoALICE Global, they did tweet about the Tin Heart event. Now, the thing is with the Tin Heart event, if you look at it, it has this mechanical-ish feel to it. He's making something in the background. We jump here into Ultima JP. This is going to most likely be the Puppet Dragon event. You can see it's sort of similar. It talks about tin metals. It is going to be a nice event. Not because of the actual event itself, because of the banner it's possibly bringing. Just to note that Puppet Dragon, as you can see here, he is weak to, magical attack. I'm not sure if he's going to be similar to Ogre, but essentially, the more magical attack you bring, the better. And I've also been hearing that magical attack is pretty much the better stat for PvE purposes, as a lot of bosses are weak to magical attack. So, I highly suggest building a magical attack grid for PvE purposes. Now, I know that it's kind of weird for me to say this when they're not dropping any magical attack banners at all, really. I mean, they're dropping them, but they're not as enticing as the physical stuff. But, I just wanted to point that out there. It's not very easy to do these magical events. I know a couple people are struggling with Ogre. It's just not as accessible as swords and physical. Now, this is the banner that's going to most likely be dropping. I'm just looking at the Medals of Desire, but these are the things that you pretty much want to pay attention to. On the left hand side here, from mechanical and up, this is pretty much the things that are going to be dropping. This is a Pinocchio event, the in event, what have you, this one right here. Biggest thing that you need to know is that Pinocchio Minstrel will be dropping for the Tin Heart event, or the Tin event. It's going to bring pretty much some decent weapons into, the game. Before we jump into the weapons themselves, it's also going to bring, an S-rank class, or the, Red Riding Hood Breaker. Overall, these are really worth it to get because usually you can get this within 1 to 2 pulls. And it's just a nice addition. If you're wondering if she's decent, You know, she provides like I believe like a little bit over like 300 stats or 300 stats roughly, and then you know her physical defense plus 300 at level 12. Overall, she's gonna be a fantastic addition. You know, just as in class, because you can never go wrong with those. Now, as far as the weapons goes, pretty much the mechanical spear and mechanical hammer, they're both extremely top tier. We're not going to talk about the orb because of reasons. Mechanical hammer has Dauntless Courage 2 on it, and the mechanical spear has Dauntless Courage 2 on it. Now, things to note, both of them do have very even stats, so that's a little weird. They're not focusing on like physical attack or magical attack. If you look here, you know, they have even stats as well. So overall, like the stat spread for these weapons are, you know, somewhat decent. But what you're really gunning after for is this Dauntless Courage 2. And if you're planning on building like an AoE salad grid, you know, both of these weapons are pretty much a must-have. But AoE salad grid, like I said, is more of like a whale thing, a spender thing. It's not really achievable for free-to-plays just because of how many things you have to acquire and the amount of like gems it costs and everything. Eventually, it'll also lead to like a mono AoE like grid later in the future when we get Switch Nightmares. But so overall, like as far as everything's going, you know, in the world of SINoALICE, it's really cool that we're getting at least like the Bloodstained Tome event, which is a minstrel, you know, class that's going to be dropping. No Sork stuff. Kind of weird that no Sork stuff has been dropping. It's kind of interesting, but I'm sure they'll do something about it. I'm really happy that the global team has been focusing more on supports lately. You know, you'll notice that they dropped the support banner last week, and they're giving us another free support class, and there's a possibility of another support, you know, class dropping very soon as well if they drop the tin event as well. But we don't know if we're going to get the tin event. All I know is that the SINoALICE global team has heard us in the sense of supports are slowly getting more stuff into the game from what I'm seeing so far with like the recent activity, and hopefully it continues this way. And I hope that we get more events overall, because these events are really helpful to us. It's not cool to get like, I guess, less events. I know it's like technically the more events you get, the more farming you have to do, but honestly I need something to do in the game, like something just so it doesn't feel like I'm just farming this game for account rank. But anyways, that's it for, you know, this video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. I don't know if the tin event is dropping tonight. I'll see you in the next one.